Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever time zone you may be watching this, either live or in the playback. My name is Michael DiMuccio. Welcome to Hanging Out with Mike DiMuccio. We have a very special guest this evening, brand new, fresh out of the Royal Diamond mold, is our newest Royal Diamond in Nikken. Susan Carver will be joining us in a couple of seconds here. For those of you who have not been on our show before, we do like to take questions, and we can do so by you giving us a message either through our Facebook, just look us up, the Royal Alliance on Facebook, send us a post, or Google+, look for the Royal Alliance on Google+, add us to your circles as well so you get our news feed, and send us a question, or you can just tweet us at our Twitter account, and that is written below my name there, at Royal Alliance 1, the number 1, and we'll be monitoring those questions, and we'll be happy to take them. So, without further ado, we have Susan Carver, who I consider personally an absolute dynamo in Nikken. Always love listening to Susan when she speaks on stage. She's very bright, intelligent, vibrant. She's fun, she knows how to make you laugh, and she knows how to deliver a point. Of course, these are all the qualities that we see emulated in our superstars in Nikken, and she is now joined the ranks of Royal Diamond with Nikken. So please welcome to the show, Susan Carver. Hello, Susan.
Hi, Mike. How are you? Wow, that's I think I need to invite you to do the speech at my funeral. That's amazing. That's awesome. Thank you, sir.
Well, no,
very much appreciate it.
We're going to get more into your credentials because people need to know a little bit more about you and really what kind of a business background you have through Nikken, your experience in Nikken, what your credentials are in Nikken, because we say Royal Diamond, and that can mean a lot of different things, but it'd be nice for people to know what kind of a Royal Diamond business you have. I understand, for instance, you have, I believe it's 8 wellness consultants of the year in your organization.
Yes, very fortunate. They're very fortunate that way.
That's an amazing accomplishment. So, and you can tell us a little bit more about that. You and I had a little bit of a chat yesterday, so I know a little bit about what's going on in your business, and I hope we're going to get into all that this evening. But well, before we get into the current reality, it didn't happen overnight. You've been in Nikken how many years now?
17 years.
17 years. So this has been a journey. This has not been an event or a happening. It's most certainly been a journey. So let's go all the way back to when this journey first got started. What was your life all about? What were you doing? How did Nikken land on your doorstep? And for goodness sake, why did you even consider it?
Well, there wasn't anything exciting going on in my life. In 1995, I was getting ready to turn 30. And when you start coming out of your 20s, the world becomes a little bit more serious. I didn't do a lot of partying, but I mean, you start realizing you want a home, you want to be on a path, you'd like some financial security, and those things weren't happening where I was. In 1995, I was living in California, and I was working as a printing sales rep. It's a long story how I got out there, but the important part is that I was working as a printing sales rep on 100% commission sales, was very unsatisfied, very unfulfilled in what I was doing, and is very empty. And so the mental portion of what I was doing was very low and minimal. But then you go ahead and you compound that with a very small income, lots of competition. 100% commission sales means your commissions end that month, and all the good you did was thrown out, and you basically start over the next month. So it was just, I mean, thinking back, it was I still remember it very clear. It was a miserable time in my life, and I didn't know how to change it. I did know the important thing that I wanted to change it, Mike, but I didn't know how to change it. So it was really, I kind of describe myself as being down like in a spring type thing, and waiting for that something or to just show up that was going to put me on a different path, because the one I was on was not effective, not at all.
Wow.
So it was,
Okay.
it
So
was, it was a sad day.
how did Niken come into your life then?
Well, one of my printing customers knew I'd been in a car accident, not anything major, but I'd been in a car accident, and he was nice enough to put me together with a gentleman that was already marketing these products, and he invited me to a wellness preview, and I went to be polite. So if there's any people watching this, someone asked you to do it, be polite. You know, it pays off. I could have lied. I could have said, oh, I'm busy or I got something going on, and I didn't. And I said, wow, you know, the only thing I'm going to miss tonight is an episode of Seinfeld. And so I'll just go to be polite and satisfy this man, and you know, just be, he's one of my customers, so I need to be polite. And so that's the circumstances which I walked into something called a wellness preview, which is an overview of this company and the products. And I, at about 30 minutes, wasn't there for that man anymore. I said to myself, these products are unique, they're timely, this is medicine. You've got doctors, you've got pharmaceutical drugs, you've got surgery, and you've got chiropractors and physical therapists. And these products fill a need in medicine that nobody else is filling. And it felt big. It felt that that I could make a difference, and it felt like a path. And if I did A, B, and C, that I would be rewarded with A, B, and C without politics, without someone having to like me, above me, for me to get a promotion. It was a business to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And it was a tribe that felt right to me, of people that wanted to make a difference, but also financially had some goals that they wanted to accomplish. And it wasn't just that night, Mike. It was that night caught my imagination of the technologies. They were so unique. It's like nothing I'd ever seen before. But then I wanted to see the compensation to make sure I wasn't going to be Mother Teresa or Nurse Nightingale running around helping people and not getting compensated. And when I saw the compensation plan, that was all that I needed, and there I went. So it was
Wow.
it happened quite quickly, you know. And I kind of knew that I knew, and if everything checked out on the financial department, I knew that this was what I was going to do for the rest of my life, because it was going to serve me well, very well.
That's amazing that at such a young age, because you know I speak to young people all the time, and they have a very different perspective on life. They think they're going to live forever. They think that, you know, the world is just going to open up to them as soon as they breathe on it,
Right.
and they really haven't been through the school of hard knocks, so they really don't understand that that's just a complete illusion in terms of reality. The probability of them ever having the kind of life that we have is less than 1%. So why they would think so charismatically about that, without, I guess they just haven't done their homework. They just have not yet hit the reality of life. And so you had enough of that.
I saw the reality quite quickly, because by the time I was 28, Mike, I had worked hourly. I had worked salary, and I'd worked on 100% commission. So in those 6 years that I had after college of employment, I had worked in basically the 3 systems that are available to people, and none of those pants fit. None of them did. I didn't like hourly. I didn't care for salary. It was the you know, you get a check and it's the same number in the bottom corner, and I was like, this is ridiculous. There's no chance for acceleration of doing anything. And then I worked 100% commission sales, and that wasn't fulfilling because of what I was doing, the product that I was marketing. So, yeah, I had a lot of good experiences in those 6 years before I saw this opportunity.
That's excellent. So it gave you the opportunity to be able to see the difference that this could make in your life financially.
Oh, yeah.
Now, in terms of validation in those first opening days that you were looking at this, did you have any immediate reaction with the products? What was the validation that allowed you to say, yeah, this is for real?
Well, the validation was part of the wellness preview. I went to a couple other wellness previews, and when I heard people that were getting results from people with the sugar disease and people that were having some sleeping issues and all the different things, I knew that not everyone in the room was telling a story. you know. And the
Mm-hmm.
other thing that I knew is that I got to see very early on some people like yourself that were bringing down some very good income, and they had a lifestyle that I thought was something that I would like to aspire to. And I thought to myself, Mike, if I could get just half of what they were earning, then I would be able to call my own shots, be my own boss, and do something that I really enjoy and really make a mark on the world. See, one of the things that motivates me, if you can find people that have this quality that I have, is that I have a burden, and it is a burden to make a difference. That's when I'm the happiest. Here in my home office, there's an inscription of contribution. I am my happiest when I'm making a contribution, when I'm making a difference, whether it's someone, their knee feels better, or whether it's something of giving a doctor, which was one of my best distributors that is just getting ready to prepare to close his practice and have a phenomenal Nikken income at the same time. It's just, those are the type of things that really stir me up and make me excited. So I got to see early on, it wasn't any product testimonial for myself. That's why I tell people they're making a huge mistake when they say, well, if this thing works on me, then I'll go ahead and be part of the company. And I never had a personal product experience. I've had little ones as I've grown from 28 years old to now over 40, but I didn't have that initial wow experience. And I just borrowed them from other people. And I saw that the company was good, and it couldn't have been, almost 20 years old, if the products weren't good and didn't have value to them. So I just borrowed a little faith, but it didn't require a lot of faith. But it's just a big mistake to say, well, if this works on me, well, what if you're not a diabetic? What if you're not someone with problems? Then you're going to deny the millions of people or potentially the thousands of people that you could touch just because you didn't have the experience. So I just kind of I did it educatedly.
I think very logical. I mean, you're making a very valid point, and that is, what if the products only worked on me? Then what kind of a business would I have? That wouldn't be very good either.
That's correct.
So,
no, that's true.
But the thing that you highlighted at the beginning there that I've said many times myself is, especially when I'm doing trainings, is the one characteristic of all the Royal Diamonds I think that is the most common and the most consistent is this desire, this need to make a difference. That it seems to be, ultimately, we might come into Nikken because we see a real income opportunity and so forth, but I think the bug that catches us and grips us and keeps us is the notion that we can actually make a difference. And when we start to experience that in those little stories here and there, that's the validation. That allows us to see that,
absolutely,
wow, we really are making a difference. Okay, so there you are. You're just getting your foot in the door. You're starting to see things happening around you. Was it a fast start for you? Was it a slow start? What was the first year like?
The first year was me breaking almost every, I don't want to call them rules, but strategy in Nikken. I have broken almost every single one of them. Let me list them off for you. There's only one thing that I did right in my first year, and I'll end with that. Number one, I didn't use my upline team, the people that had sponsored me and the people that sponsored them. So I didn't ask for any help. I thought this was a business that you need a social security number and a pulse, and I didn't have respect for the industry of network marketing because I didn't understand it. That's it. It's not that I thought it was something bad or I wouldn't have put myself in that industry, but I didn't have the respect for it, that it requires certain things and certain things to come together to create a successful business. So number one, I didn't use my team. Number two, I didn't read any books. Number three, I only went to wellness previews when I wanted to. Number four, I went to Humans Being More training after I'd been in the company 2 or 3 years, because I heard that you do some crying in there and some personal development. So I don't know how I did it, Mike, but I avoided that. So I didn't go to Humans Being More until I was a gold. I didn't go to gold training until I was a platinum. I mean, I did so many mistakes. People don't even believe that. But the one thing that I did that was correct is that I properly capitalized my business. So I had my samples. So if someone wanted a necklace, or if someone needed to borrow something, or if somebody needed a product for quick sale, I had those items. So the only thing that I did out of about 8 or 9 monumental mistakes that I started my business with, the one thing I did is I capitalized my business properly, because I couldn't understand how people would purchase a magnetic mattress pad without trying it first. And so I knew I had to properly capitalize my business, just like a gentleman that's starting a yard business. He gets the truck, he buys the mower, he gets the blower, the edger, and the clippers before he knocks on the first door and asks to mow your yard, Mike. And it's the same thing I knew. I knew I needed to have some samples. This isn't a catalog business where it's, you know, this blue mascara, or do you want the black mascara? I knew it was something that people needed to feel and touch. So other than that, my first year was a disaster. I don't even think I made $12,000 my first year. And I broke almost every single strategy in the business that you just don't do.
So something obviously changed. So what happened that caused that for you to just sort of say, okay, obviously I'm doing something wrong? What was
you know what happened? I saw people that started the same time I did advancing in the company, and I was doing this. They were getting company cars. They were getting in the magazine. They were going from $2,000 and $3,000 a month to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and $10,000, and I knew them, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out what was going on, because I thought in some ways that I gave a better presentation, and that's not what it's about. What it's about is empowering your team. What's it about is making sure that you're doing all those steps that I told you that I was avoiding or that I didn't do. And it's about personal growth. And those people were growing mentally, and I wasn't. And that's about the second year, somewhere in the second year, I took all of my bad habits and I completely forgave myself. What's so awesome about this business, it's a very forgiving business. So you may go ahead and do this wrong and this wrong and this wrong and this wrong your first month, your second month, your third year. But when you decide to make a change in yourself and to create some very good habits and things that are successful, that prove to be successful, this is one of the most forgiving businesses you've ever seen. If I was a doctor, if I was an insurance agent and some other careers, or construction, and I built some very poor homes, I'd basically be toast. But this business is very forgiving. What you do is you go ahead and you say that was then, and you take a fresh start and you develop fresh habits. And that's what I did. I started utilizing my upline. I have an amazing upline team.
Were you full-time at this point in time?
I was living in my mother's garage apartment, and yes, I was full-time, struggling along, and yes.
All right.
But when I made those changes, as soon as the shift happened, whoa, the income.
Business started to happen.
Well, yes, because I was attracting people that were right for this business. And I was spending my time with those that wanted to improve mind, body, family, society, and finances, and it was a totally different experience.
Okay, now I know I asked you this question yesterday, and your response surprised me, but I wanted to ask this again. Because obviously when you're into something for 2 years, having been where you've been, you know, in 6 years you've done so many things, probably by that second year you're thinking, this is crazy. I mean, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm the wrong person for this situation. And I asked you yesterday, you know, were there times, maybe not even in those first, maybe in those first 2 years more often than others, but maybe even times following that, that you just thought, man, this is really not for me. I can't do this. And you considered getting out. And
Absolutely not.
yeah, and your answer was just that. Not for 1 second did you ever consider that as an option. Now that
No.
I find absolutely remarkable. But more than that, you had a reason why. Can you just share that a little bit? Why not?
Well, it was. Well, first of all, what are the other alternatives? I've worked hourly. I've worked salary. I've worked 100% commission. So working for someone else was not the answer to my satisfaction and to put me on a financial path that was going to let me experience some of the things in life that having some extra money does.
Okay,
So
but
I'd
now
already.
you just said that, the financial path, and you mentioned that yesterday. And do you mind me mentioning this? You know, the fact that I did a real quick calculation. I said, Susan, that means you've averaged $10,000 a month day one.
That's
You know,
correct.
and of course, it wasn't like that your first year, as
No.
you've just described, not even your second year. So clearly, the latter years made up for the
Oh,
early
yes.
years. And I think this is such a really, really important point for people who are looking at this or who are involved in this, that really do not appreciate the value of this compounding that you somehow bought hook, line, and sinker, and for a second
Absolutely.
weren't prepared to give up on. Can you talk a
Absolutely
little bit
not.
more about that?
I'd be happy to. It is the whole concept, Michael, of delayed gratification. I bought into that. And I bought into that of realizing in this compensation plan, if you have 6 individuals that are earning $2,000 a month, you know, here or there, about $2,000 a month, that's $100,000 a year of income for you personally, or for me, or for anyone that's listening. So I locked in. I absolutely locked in, and I said, I can find 6 people on the planet that are as excited about this opportunity and these technologies as I am. I can find 6 people. There's 1,000,000+ people in Orlando, Florida. I can radically change my life. 3 people will make me $50,000 a year at $2,000 apiece, and 6 people will make me $100,000 a year. So that is the map, so to speak, that I've used. And why would you quit? You know, there's an analogy that was used a number of years ago, that if you knew that there was $2 million in a suitcase in a hotel that had 1,000 beds, I mean, would you quit after looking at bed number 241? I mean, you wouldn't. If you absolutely knew that you would not be denied, that it wasn't a trick or a game, that if you did A, B, and C, that you would enjoy D, E, and F. And so when I saw that, and I saw people like you, and I saw all these people that were having this success, why would I count myself out? Why would I say that I'm not cut out for it? It's not about talent. This business is about developing a skill set. And in 1995, I didn't have the skill set. The skill set is listening and not talking. The skill set is helping people identify their why. Your skill set is giving a proper and exciting presentation of these amazing products, and doing it in a way where you're not selling people, but they're hearing about this water, or they're hearing about those insoles, and they're like, I have to have those. That is awesome. So it was those skill set that I realized that the people walking across the stage, the people that were in the magazines, and the people like yourself, all you did was keep on sharpening your skill set. So whether you come into this business with very little skill set that matches this business, or if you come into this business with the perfect skill set, you've already got those, it doesn't matter. It's the point when you grasp, when you master that skill set, not talent. You're a singer and you're a musician. I can't sing and I can't play the piano like you can, okay? Now here's the thing. I can hire Barbara Streisand's voice coach, and I will still never sing in, what is it, 6 octaves or whatever she has, one of the most beautiful voices in recorded music, in my opinion. I can hire her. Hers is talent. Will I get a little further down the road? with her coach, probably, and not sound like I sound now. But the point is this business, thank God, is not about talent. It's about developing skills. So if I just choose to work on my skills and work on my skills and work on my skills, which are not Einstein type of talent, then I know that I can have what other people have. Why would I count myself out? It's amazing to me, Mike, and it makes me crazy when people say they quit Nikken, because I just look at them and say, nobody quits Nikken, because all of us are the president of our companies. What
That's
we do is we fire ourselves. Why would I fire myself just because my first year is not going as quickly as some of the other people that joined at the same time? That comes down to personal responsibility. Why would I point the finger that this company isn't working, the products aren't working? No, I need to personally grow. I need to take full responsibility, because the better that I get, then the paycheck will come up. Because the paycheck represents one thing, Mike. It doesn't represent your success. It represents your understanding of this business and your leadership. That is what it represents. So if you don't like your check, it's a report card on what you're doing. And so when you can take that kind of responsibility, which I did, I didn't point the finger, oh, this business doesn't work, oh, these products, everyone's cured of everything. They don't have acid reflux, they don't have any back discomfort, everybody's fine, so nobody needs these products. No, people need these products. What they need is a better me to communicate what it is we have. And when I started to do that, and I started to follow, quote unquote, not the rules, but I started to follow the things that make you successful, I couldn't stop the business.
Wow. Now, when would you say that momentum started to kick in? And about what year?
It came when I went gold. I believe it was in about my second year, maybe at the end of the second year.
And then when was platinum?
Platinum was 9 months after that. It was gold.
So you really had a roll going.
Yeah, and I remember distinctly not getting my bonus car that year, because I knew I was already moving up so quickly to platinum, and I had momentum. And here's the key: I had identified the people that wanted to play. I had identified the people that wanted to play, but I was able to bring them to the table because I was a more effective leader in communicating what we had, that we're not selling makeup, soaps, potions, lotions. We're not salespeople. We're consultants, and we help solve people's problems physically and financially. And when I got to that point, I started to attract a different type of people that say, hey, I want to do this with you.
And then diamond? What time frame between platinum and diamond?
Diamond.
Just for those who are new to the compensation plan, that's probably the biggest stretch in the highway, in my opinion, because it's not just a structural thing or a volume thing. I think that's where the growth really kicks it up a notch. That's where you really start to step into the shoes of being a leader of leaders.
It was I believe about 3 or 4 years after that. Because some of the people on my original team, they had a vision so far, but they didn't have a vision past that. And some of them on the team did. So what needed to happen is that's okay. I don't fire them. They didn't fire themselves. There was, hey, you want to stay at that particular level? Okay, that's fine. You're getting out of this what you want. Wonderful. I'm pleased. But what I want to do is something a little bit bigger, so then I need to bring in a couple other people that are going to fill those roles. And that's the idea of knowing where you want to go and looking at your team. So for instance, if you want to win the Daytona 500, you probably know that a 4-cylinder car is not going to be there. So I had to look at the motor, the team that I had, and know the race that I want to enter, which was the diamond race. And then I realized I needed to change it to a 6 to 8-cylinder car to get the job done. And so I had to go back and find a couple other people. Not that these people quit or didn't want to do anything. It's just they didn't want to move at the pace I did. And what's so beautiful at this business is you don't push them. You still work with them, but you go find people that want to move at that little faster pace of growth, and that's what I did. And then took it to Diamond.
And that you are not limited by anybody on your team.
That is so true. In corporate America, and I got a taste of this, I'm having a flashback here, Mike. I just want you to know, and everybody on the call, I have not had this on, okay, since I worked at Disney in 1993. So if I have to get into some therapy.
Which, by the way, you had to buy today, right? You had to buy these.
Yeah, I had to go buy this for this program. It's like, Walt Disney World information. This is Susan. May I help you? This is going to scar me. So if I have some psychological problems or something, Mike, I'm going to have to, you're taking me back to my $7.25 an hour days. But the idea, what I saw at Walt Disney World was, if these people up here don't like you, you're not going anywhere. And if these people up here are threatened by you and think that if they move you up that you'll go past them, they're not going to promote you. It is this whole mentality. I could see it in the favoritism, in the politics that was going on, and it was like, wow, this was like amazing. So if you wanted to do some extra and you wanted to excel and you wanted to go the second mile, it didn't matter, because these people had full control over your advancement. And how people get into corporate America and sit there at their desks and wait for someone to recognize their brilliance, to me, is just completely mind-blowing. Because if I was on your team and you and I weren't buddies, you have no control over what speed I take my experience in Nikken. I can take it up to yours, I can surpass yours, and that is the joy of this business. And I just don't understand that mentality of waiting 5 years for a promotion, or waiting 10 years to be a CEO, or 15. I mean, it's like, and then there's only one person. There's one person. You're running this race with 4 other people in your department. One of you is going to get it, and they could bring someone from the outside and completely dismiss 4 of you. I mean, and you spent 10 years chasing this one position and this one title, and they could be taken away like that. And even if you get it, it can be taken away. And people by the droves are sending out applications and resumes. And it's just like, really? I don't
Susan,
understand.
I hate to tell you this, but you have been undomesticated. So,
okay.
And that's exactly it. You are now unemployable because you know the cat's out of the bag. You get the joke.
Correct.
And for a lot of people, boy, oh boy. Just for the viewers who are watching, if you'd like to ask us a question of Susan, you can tweet us at Royal Alliance 1. That's the number 1, Royal Alliance 1. Or send us a post at our Facebook or our Google Plus identification. Look for the Royal Alliance and send us a question. Okay, so this is all really rich stuff. This is really good stuff. I haven't covered any of this in previous calls. Okay, so let's advance the clock a little bit. You're on to Diamond 3. Now you're in about what, year 5, 6? What year are we in now?
Probably about
7?
year I believe 7. I believe 7.
Okay. Now you've seen a lot of things happen in the business, both internally, externally. You've seen a lot of things happen in the economy. How have these things influenced your business, influenced your vision? What are some of the key factors that have influenced you that way?
That's a great question. Thank you. Well, one of the things that if we look back at the, I guess the crash or whatever in our lifetime, was in 2008. And it was interesting because if you go back to 2004 and 2005, and I'm sure you run into a lot of realtors and people in the mortgage business, and I would go and I'd talk to them, and I had a good check then, a nice 5-digit check, but nothing to blow you over, but a good consistent check. And I remember they would look at a copy of my check and they go, oh, I make that selling one house. Oh my goodness, and just kind of tap me on the head and send me on my way. And they're like, "You've been doing this for how many years?" And you're only, oh, that I sell 2 houses, and and it was just amazing because they thought that the ride was going to run forever. And they don't understand delayed gratification, because I knew that check, well, first of all, that check that they were laughing at is only 1% of the population earns that kind of money. But the fact that I had been doing this for a while, I mean, they'd been in real estate for maybe 10 or 12 years, and this is the first boom they ever had. So it was kind of interesting, their logic, but that they saw at the time. But what happened in 2008 and in 2009 was the economy going down was a blessing and a terrible blessing, but a factual blessing that happened in my business and a lot of people's business in this company, because the fact that in 2004, 2005, you could put $10,000 down, buy a $200,000, $300,000 home, flip it, make yourself $50,000 or $60,000, dump it on the next guy. That's not your problem, right? And turn it over in the next couple of months. You could put your money in the bank at 7%, 8% return, and the stock market was fairly predictable in some regards. So a lot of people were kind of sitting back and letting their money work for them and producing opportunities for them. And when that disappeared, Mike, it was like the stillness in the room. It was like the real estate door has closed. Here in Orlando, they just had in the paper that basically all the foreclosures and the short sales and everything have dried up, and we're almost back to normal. And so that door of a quick buck and a score, that's what it is, a score on that property, that's basically closing. So closed. So you might be able to buy that house, but you might have to sit on it for 8 or 10 years, and you still don't know what it's going to be valued, right? So that door is closed. The idea of putting money in a bank account and just sitting there watching it double and triple at less than, people are bragging that 0.5% interest, a return on, oh, come to our bank, we'll give you 0.8%. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Which doesn't even keep up with inflation.
No, yeah, my home insurance, my gas, everything has gone up. Everything has gone up.
Yeah.
But I mean, putting your money in the bank, you're actually losing, Mike. And so that door is basically closed. You can't just sit there and throw your money in investment. And people with the economy and jobs and cliffs and all this other stuff, they're not even that comfortable putting the money in the stock market. So all those investment doors have closed. So people are going back to, wow, I've got to roll up my sleeves, and I've got to do, and I have to participate in my financial opportunity. And that, believe it or not, the year after the crash is when my business hit total income. As far as when I started, I got awarded in the Millionaires Club, and my checks went up, and the first number was a nice number. So that was a real blessing, and it was a huge lesson to me to realize, by all of us that participate in Nikken, or if you're looking at this, the best industry that you can be in any kind of crazy economy, good and bad, is the healthcare industry. It's as steady as the sunrise and the sunset, because in a good economy, people sleep well or they don't sleep well, or they have diabetes or they don't have diabetes, and they have to address those things. They may not be going on a 2-week cruise to Europe, but they have to address these things. So I saw that our business is very much economy proof, in my opinion. I'm not speaking for the company, because of our technologies, and the fact that people cannot passively have a dollar make a dollar is a mind-blowing thing. So I talk a lot about this as an opportunity to have a good return on investment and the tax benefits, and people are really listening to that, and it's serving me well.
That's phenomenal. I love this concept of delayed gratification. It's not new, but it's new to my ears. We don't talk about that enough, and I liken it to when I look at the work ethic that I put into building this business, and I look around me and I look at what are people prepared to do these days. It's
Yeah.
not the same. People I think, are shell shocked. I really think they're lost and don't know what to do. And so we really have an opportunity to be somebody. And one of the things I think is relevant here, specifically where Niken is concerned, unlike network marketing as an industry, while I truly am a very big advocate for network marketing as an industry, I think there's something very special about Niken. I kind of liken it to, if you ever did leave Niken, you kind of left your first love, and then the rest sort of doesn't matter. You become a network marketer. So you're in Niken, and then if you're not, you're a network marketer. So there's something very special and unique about Niken that is unlike network marketing. Now, I know you are not, you're someone who's high profile now enough that I'm sure you've hit somebody's radar screen a few times in terms of, hey, why don't you look at our network marketing business? Hey, why don't you look at our network marketing business? And they paint the sun and the moon. Has that happened to you? And if so, what did you think? What impressions does that leave with you, and how does that make you feel about your business?
Thank you. Thank you for yeah. Well, first of all, I don't get too many calls because I think people know I'm doing well, and I think a lot of people will kind of go after people that are maybe I don't know, vulnerable, whatever that would be. I don't know, but I occasionally get a call or an email or someone will talk to me. But let me just give you, since it's fresh in my mind, there's 7 things that makes Niken unique. And number 1 is the fact in our compensation plan is all the levels are permanent. In other opportunities, you get up to a certain level, let's say you're at 35 or 40%, and if you don't do anything for a while, you'll end up back in the basement at 20 and 25%. So the first advantage of this compensation plan that I share with people, and I think I share this a lot with my team, and it really drives in the point of the gift and the fact that you pointed out that this is so unique, and it is a first love. This is the first network marketing company I ever joined. But I saw 7 different companies before this, and I had logical reasons of why I said no. And it just wasn't a fit. Either the product was really good and the compensation was extremely poor, or it was all compensation and the product was poor. And I was looking for a company where the product stands alone, like this necklace that I have on here. What I mean by a product that stands alone is that if I give this to someone who's experiencing head discomfort, and it takes away their headache, they're going to come back and ask me 2 questions. What is this thing made of, and how much is it? It doesn't require a salesperson. So I always looked for a company that had a product that stands alone, doesn't need the lighting, the pretty, the whatever, the excitement of business to make it look sexy or attractive or desirable. It needs to stand alone. And the second thing that I was looking for is a very good compensation plan. So if I did the work, I would be compensated without tricks and games, and this side didn't balance that side, so we didn't pay you this month. This kind of things going on. But going back to the 7 things that I share with people, and then I teach my team, and I think this has really helped them see that the pastures are not green over here. They are not greener. They may appear to be greener, but these are the 7 things that I usually share with people. Number 1, all the levels are permanent, like I just mentioned. Okay, that's huge. All of us, I'm sure you and everyone else, started out part-time. We have our main income. We do this on the side until we can build it up and free ourselves and move on from there. But you need to not have that constant stress of, oh, I'm starting over every month. And I won't mention any names here because I know this is going to be broadcast a lot of places, but I have the names of the companies where if you don't do this and this and this, then, oh, I'm sorry, your mother passed away? You need to grieve for 5 or 6 months? Well, that's not our problem. And Niken, it's your business. It's your business. So if you step aside from it, the wholesaler, which is Niken, is not going to punish you because you didn't buy enough tomatoes that month. Can you imagine if you owned a restaurant and your father was ill and they raised the prices on you and took away your discounts, Mike, just because you didn't order a certain amount of tomatoes for your restaurant? I mean, that's just crazy. But people put up with it. You don't do that here. So number one, all the levels are permanent. Number two, we have something called compression, which is a little difficult to explain on this call, but it's so nice because all of us have people that aren't working in between here, and the people down here are working. So in our company, we have something called compression, and all of that compresses up to the people that are working, like you and me and the others on the call. That is so huge. That is probably worth about $8,000 to $10,000 of lost income if we did not have that in the compensation plan. Other companies don't have it because if this particular company says we pay you 3 deep and these 2 are sleeping, well, that's your tough luck. And it is. They said they'd pay you 3 deep. If these 2 are sleeping, it's not that company's fault. In Niken, if these 2 are sleeping, it'll keep going down until it finds 3 that are working as a gold distributor. That's huge, Mike. You know that. And people don't study the compensation plan to appreciate what we have there. Those other companies just pocket that income. Okay. The third advantage of this is we have a lifestyle bonus. You enjoy it and I enjoy it. Do you realize that my lifestyle bonus this month was more money than I used to earn in my full-time job? My lifestyle bonus, just my bonus, Niken saying, Susan, thank you. We appreciate you dedicating yourself to this and making an important part of your life and empowering others and whatnot, and we appreciate that. I was like, wow. So we have a lifestyle bonus that starts at gold and platinum and diamond and royal. Just a little extra thank you note to say we appreciate you and we like what you're doing and you're exceptional and you're going out and beyond. So we have that. The fourth thing that we have that's really awesome is the fact that this is an old company, but it's still expanding. It's an old company, but it's still in an expansion mode. And that's very, very important. So I've got young potential and growth.
I also want to mention that it's not just expanding in terms of expansion international into new markets, but it's expanding its penetration into every market.
That is correct.
Our depth of penetration.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Okay, so there's just so many advantages to this company. I mean, it's just I love the fact that we have technologies that nobody else has, and we have them priced to make a profit, yet priced to be affordable, and the value to people is just amazing. I mean, I always tell people. I
threw you off there. You were at number 4. Do you have a number 5?
I think you threw me off there. Yes, I was on a roll there. Bang, bang. See. Skills, right? Skills. All the levels are permanent. Lifestyle bonus.
Compression.
We have compression.
Expansion.
Old company, but still expanding and growth going on. The training. The training and support is a global thing. So you can call up someone in San Francisco and your person is welcome to go there, which is really an exciting thing. So those things just make it special. It just makes it a special experience. And I get calls. It's like, does your product change lives? Well, it does this one thing, or it does this 2 things, or oh, but there's all this money. I need 2 things. For my heart and my mind to be happy, I need to make a difference and I need to get paid. And when these products quit making a difference, then I won't be here. But until they do, this is my home, and I am proud to own my own company inside of this amazing multi-billion-dollar Japanese company.
I got a question from Maggie McKee, who's asking us on our Google Plus platform, what are some of the key questions you ask people to help them determine if they are a fit for the business? I want to just note we got about 10 minutes, and I want to take the last 5 minutes to direct this in a particular way. So what are some of the key questions you ask people to help them determine if they are fit for this business? I guess your interpretation of what would be a partner for you.
Well, there's 4 things. The number one quality that I look for is a desire for more. I cannot tell you how important. If I don't sense that, if I'm not getting that from someone, that they're completely satisfied, mind, body, family, society, and finances, then we have absolutely no connection. There's nowhere to go with this person, because discontent is the thing that I'm looking for. Because without discontent, you won't take this journey. And so the first thing that I look for in someone is, number one, is a desire for more. It can be more money, more financial security, more mental stimulation. It's not just money. It's not just money. I have a huge organization in the country of Colombia of people that don't need more money. These are women that are university educated, some of them with their masters. They gave up their careers to support their husband's career and to be home with the children. And now they're 40 years old and they're like, who am I? And why am I here? I am Jose's mama and I am Jorge's wife, but who am I? And those women wanted to show their children that this is who I am, and mama does this. And, you know, oh, what does your mom do? Nothing. No, my mother owns an internationally recognized alternative medicine, medical supply distribution business. You know, my mother's doing something. So you're looking for people, Maggie, that want more mental stimulation. Mr. DiMuccio is here. One of his best distributors didn't need more money. He's one of the most wealthy gentlemen in Canada. What that man needed was a purpose for his life and wanted a chance to help create millionaires underneath him, which he's done. So you look for someone who wants more. The second quality that I look for is compassion. You don't need it if you're selling Dish Network through network marketing or cable or power company or what. No, you need compassion. That person, when you're sitting in front of them, do they have the compassion for other people? If they find out that their next door neighbor is flat on his back and is having issues with acid reflux or having issues here with their wrist and whatnot, or breathing issues and whatnot, do they care, or they just go, that's not my lungs, it's not my problem? Compassion. This business is not about money, money, money. It's about having the compassion to feel, the ability to feel that for another human being, for them physically or financially. And if you cannot feel that for someone else, then this business won't work for that person. The third quality that I look for is contacts. Do you have a good group of contacts existing? Which I did not. I don't know about you, Mike, but I had no list to work from. I had to go out there and find people in the world and create curiosity. But do you have contacts, or are you the type of person that easily meets people and that is friendly and outgoing, and you can develop a contact? So that's third. And then the final thing, the least important thing that I look for in a business partner or someone that I'm talking to is income. Do they have the ability to have a couple $100, $500 at least, or $600 to be able to get some samples so they can then demonstrate this and then create curiosity and bring people into their business and break the cycle of not having money. So number one is a desire for more. Number two is compassion on a physical level and a financial level for other people. Number three is the ability to make contacts or have contacts. And the fourth thing is to go ahead and have a little bit of financial wherewithal to get their business going and to get it started.
Wow, great short list. You know, I know you teach this, and so your team is really very skilled at what it takes to succeed, and you're doing a great job of doing that, and it's showing up in the fact that you've got 8 consultants of the year in your organization. I guess they're spread out mostly in the Latin American marketplace, and that's where you're experiencing a lot of your growth and success in the last few years. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to knock on your door and say, hey, maybe you can invite me down and I can get to meet some of those people and experience the Latin culture firsthand. Susan, the thing that keeps coming to my mind is something that you said yesterday, which was with respect to this delayed gratification.
Okay.
The idea that you were not cashing those $10,000 checks at the beginning,
oh, no.
but you knew you knew the trajectory, you knew the financial path that you were on, and that's what allowed you to have that stick-to-itiveness, even though you were not experiencing it yet, and not for a few years at best. So that's a really important note that I want to underscore, because what does it take to actually achieve the rank of Royal Diamond? Is it what is the character and the quality of the human being that you've experienced? We've already mentioned one, which is the desire to make a difference in the lives of other people. But I think that the one that you're highlighting is perhaps even more relevant, and that is that you have the conviction of your future. You can see your future. You know that your future is a sure thing because you're in charge of your future, and
That's correct.
this business guarantees it, that you
Yes.
are empowered.
You are in charge.
Exactly.
That's correct.
And I think that's such a huge point for people who are wavering, or who are unsure, or who are new in the business, and we'll go through the various stages of resistance. And gosh, we've gone through it all. I mean, it's truly this is like it's like a coal being tumbled and tumbled and tumbled in pressure and heat, and eventually you get this diamond.
Right.
It's almost as if it's a necessary process in order for that inner beauty to come out and really shine. And you've certainly done that. You're a great example for all of us, and I'm particularly happy to see as well more women achieving the rank of Royal Diamond, which is a better reflection, I think, of the demographics of our business, which I think the number is something like 80% of the consultants in Nikken are women. And so you've broken through the glass ceiling for the women out there who still very much, we cannot underestimate the power of beliefs, that if you've come from the corporate environment, or you've relinquished your responsibility in that to raise a family and to be a wife and so forth, you still have this subconscious thing where you're butting up against the subconscious limiting belief, I guess, and you've helped people by being who you are to break through that, and I think that's a huge, very powerful thing. So,
Thank you.
Congratulate you for that.
But
okay, we've just.
But it wasn't me. It wasn't
me.
This business is about your team. And I learned that at the end of my first year. It wasn't how wonderful my wellness preview was tonight. It was how wonderful were my 5 distributors' wellness previews that week. It wasn't about, I've got this down. No. Do my 5 people underneath me on my team, do they have it down? And that's when things started to realize. There's a person in Canada that I know that you and I know that said, a good leader's people think highly of the leader. A great leader's people think highly of themselves. And that, I think, is what reflects in hopefully my people, is for them to think highly of themselves. Not to think highly of me, but to think highly of themselves. So.
It's interesting. My goal in Niken was to have an organization of 100,000 people and to be the least important person in my organization.
Really?
That was my goal.
Well,
obviously that means people don't need me. They might want me, but they don't need me because they're
that's correct.
Empowered. Cool.
That's
Listen,
excellent.
Take the next 60 seconds and give us your final, what comes to mind, comes to heart that you'd like to leave us with.
Well, I just think that the reason that I've reached Royal Diamond is it's so logical. It's such a logical thing. If you find the leaders and develop them, they're going to pay you. It's not a question of if you're popular or if you have a master's degree, or it's just so freeing to know you can be who you are. Now all of us have to work on ourselves, but you can be who you are, live where you want. This gentleman here I don't even know if you guys on the call know, you never know where this guy is in the world because he has homes in different places, but it's just you can be who you are. And but I just wouldn't be denied. I knew it was there. It was like that hotel room with the $2 million sitting in the suitcase. I just knew it was there because I saw too many people doing it. No, maybe I wasn't doing it at that moment when I saw a $600 paycheck or a $1,200 a month paycheck or what. It's like, no, 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 no. It's still possible because people are continuing to do it. And they're doing it with a 7th grade education. They're doing it with a high school education. They're doing it with a doctor. And they're doing it here. And an aerospace engineer, which I'm even sure if I knew how to spell that, Mr. Mike here. So you've got all these different types of people. And the validation of, there goes another one. And there's another one. And I just said, well, okay, it's just not my turn. I have to keep developing on my skill set. I have to help make sure that my people are developing their skill set, but I just wouldn't be denied. And why? Well, I'll end with this. Why would I put all of my dreams, all of my hopes, and in my entire livelihood in a corporation's hands? Why would I think so little of me to do that? And that's what people don't understand. And it's the idea of being the captain of my own rowboat before I want to be the first mate on someone else's yacht. I just don't, because they can throw you overboard, leave you at the next port. You're taking your whole future, your happiness, your love, your passion, your sweat, your tears, and your time, and your financial value, and you're just saying, here, I don't know what I'm worth. Why don't you tell me what I'm worth, or how long I'm going to be sitting at this desk? No, thank you. I will take my chances on myself, because at the end of the day, Mike, I know that I'm going to treat me better than someone else is going to treat me. And that's why I'm here.
You are awesome. And now you are next, and you're making it possible for others to see that it's happening now, and it could be them next.
That's correct.
Susan, thank you for joining us this evening.
It's my pleasure, Mike.
I look forward to. Those of you watching, this will be available for replay, for rebroadcast on YouTube within the next week. So please help share this wonderful message of Susan's out with the world. And we'll see you in a few weeks. Again, good evening. Thank you. And until we meet again, enjoy every precious moment. Thanks, Susan.
Bye. Thank you, Mike.